Hi, this is Greg Hurd, and I'm here in Canton, Ohio for the Pro Football Hall of Fame induction ceremony. We were able to talk to a few of the inductees, and here's what they had to say about being inducted in this year's class of the Hall of Fame.
Is there anybody right now that reminds you of yourself?
Yeah, man, he's 11 years old. My son. Yeah, you know, everybody has their own greatness, man. You know, I like what I see out of these guys, though. I'm a huge fan of Eddie Jackson, man. Eddie's my guy. I like how he played the game in college. I enjoyed his game in college. So he's one of my guys, man. Obviously Earl, Earl's there. Eric Berry, it's a bunch of guys, man. My guy in Tennessee just got the big contract. It's a bunch of guys, man. I just enjoy watching these guys, play the game. I would wish that they catch more interceptions, though.
Being an offensive lineman, it's not necessarily a glamorous position.
I think the offensive line position is something that nobody ever chooses it. You go to a football camp and every kid goes over to the receivers and the quarterbacks. Nobody goes to the offensive line station unless you're just the biggest kid out there. And but the position usually chooses you before you know that you're that guy. And for me, I knew by the time I got to high school, I knew I was going to be an offensive lineman. I just relished it. I got an opportunity to hit every play. I got an opportunity to put my hat on somebody every play. And then as I grew into my position and my leadership role on the offensive line, I got to run the show. And I was calling the protection. I was calling the run checks, and I got to make the call. And I was a quarterback up front, and I relished that part of it. And for me, it became a mental part. As I got older, it wasn't about the physical part of it. It became about how to beat the puzzle, how to read a defense, and call your blocking schemes against that defense, how to find the tips and the reads that defensive guys get to put my guys in the right position. But a lot of that, too, is developing a relationship with the guys around you so that they can trust you. So when you do make a call, that they're not going to question it. They're just going to go with it. And the whole old saying in offensive line play is if one's wrong, you're all wrong. But if you're all wrong, you're all right. As long as everybody's going in the same direction on the same page, you have an opportunity to be successful.
Did you ever think about playing in this era as far as, it's past Happy League from what you played in?
Man, I mean, you know what? Part of me wants to play in this era because they're throwing the ball and you have an opportunity to pick the ball off. And, I'm saying that, like, I know I have 60 or 70, playing in this era. But at the same time, I might not get no check because I'm going to get fined because of the way I played. So, it's a double-edged sword there, you know what I mean? So, it's getting kind of soft, and I really think like I know I have the athleticism to play in this area, but the way I was taught to play the game, they're gonna take half my check because I'm gonna get fined. You know what I mean? Can't hit nobody now. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit different. I really don't necessarily. I understand protecting the players. The game is about the players, but kind of soft, man.
If we had to break this down as a mathematical equation to get to the Hall of Fame, give me an equation.
They told me they wouldn't be any math, man. That wasn't my strong suit. You know what? Talent, natural talent, plus finding your love, which takes fearlessness, equals greatness, because I think everything will take care of itself if you really truly love it, meaning that it's up here at the top. A lot of guys say, oh, I love it, but you don't. You would have went home last night if you really loved it. You would have stayed after practice if you really, really loved it. But then you got to have the natural talent for whatever you go into. I mean, me wanting to be a jockey, it's just not going to work because I'm not naturally talented for that. But playing football or basketball, where I have those natural God-given gifts, which everybody has. It's in everybody. You can't do what you want to do, but there is something inside you that is destined for greatness. You just have to find it. And once you combine that with love, you're going to be successful.
Champ, when you played at Georgia, you did a little bit of everything, played receiver, return kicks. You maybe even played running back. With you being there and with Hines Ward also playing quarterback while you were there, like, do you guys ever think about what if we played a different position coming into the NFL? Do you think the career would be the same?
That's funny.
I don't know. You know, I don't. I mean, well, I had like Terry Robisky. He was my coach my first 2 years. Wide receiver coach in the league now, offense coordinator. He told me he would have drafted me as a receiver. So, you know, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking maybe I should have played receiver. But I always wanted to play everything anyway. But I was fortunate enough to have coaches that let me dabble in things other than cornerback. So, you know, I was lucky to have great coaches that believed in my abilities. But I don't think I would have been better at anything else than corner. I just really don't.
Did it, working on those other positions, did it help you, like, going into the game?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think playing receiver really let me understand how they think about reading defenses and, you know, how they try to get off the line and little things like that that you just don't get sitting around a bunch of DBs. So, you know, just having that knowledge and being able to learn from some great receivers. I mean, I played with Andre Reed, so soaking up all that information, and these guys really helped raise me. And, you know, I mean, my hat goes off to them because everything I learned from those receivers I covered. I mean, I put it and implemented it in my game.
We also got a special announcement from Pro Football Hall of Fame CEO David Baker about the 2020 Hall of Fame class.
I'm pleased to inform you that our Board of Trustees, which just met, has unanimously passed a process where we would have 20 enshrinees as a special centennial class for 2020.
So please stay tuned to the 3-Point Conversion for more exclusive coverage of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and follow us on all of our social media. And remember, it's where fans' opinions matter.